Hey guys, it's Ken Maxfield, the Hide Guy. I am the owner and the managing editor of the Maxfield Report, and this is our market recap for the week ending March the 27th. Apologize, this is a day later than it usually is. We had a personal tragedy on my wife's side where her oldest brother passed away, so apologize for the tardiness of it, but we'll jump right back into this thing here. So, week started off with Packers. Doing the same things they've done the last 2-3 weeks. Some of the Packers were choosing not to offer, or perhaps offering quietly to some of their favorite customers, but they were not offering, releasing their offers and making them public, allowing everyone and anyone to see them. The other Packers who did offer were reported to have a limited number of offers, not many selections on those lists. Load counts were certainly limited. Packers exhibited a lot of discipline as to how many loads they wanted to sell. As far as asking prices, they were anywhere from, $2, $3, $4, $5 higher. You name it. Right now it's a market where you almost don't even want to put a price on hides because you're afraid that you may not have asked enough. So as the interest last week is kind of like it was the last 2 weeks. Coming out of the box, a lot of people bidding unsolicited. Packers aren't willing to even look at those. They're passing on those. The bids that are coming in on items offered were lower than asking prices. Packers were adamantly refusing those, countering at full price, refusing to budge. They won't negotiate. And end of the day, hides traded again. Roughly about $4 higher, and some selections may be traded a little higher depending on the packer, the selection. Some might have been a tad lower, but on the average, hide prices are up about $4 a hide. And as far as how many hides were sold last week, again, with the discipline exhibited by the Packers, I think there wasn't as many sales as the last couple of weeks, but it wasn't a bad week as far as total sales done. On the cowhide side, again, similar story. Producers coming in, they're laying claims to being well sold. They're telling people they really don't need to offer anything. Some folks just flat out refused offers. Others did offer, but very few selections. Asking prices are anywhere from $1 to $2 higher. They didn't get too crazy with their asking prices, and I don't mean that disrespectfully to the folks on the big Packer side. They just didn't go as crazy as far as the $4 or $5 increase in asking prices. But interest last week, again, like big Packer hides, the unsolicited interest didn't draw any responses from the producers. People bidding underneath the ask were getting countered at full asking price. Long and short of it, hides traded roughly $2 a hide better. Over the last 3 weeks, cow hides are up about $9. Big Packer hides are up about $12. So it's been a pretty good run here for the last 2-3 weeks for those selling hides, as prices are up, for the most part, about 40% across the board. The knock last week, a little bit higher than what we expected, 646,000. That matches up against 627 the week before, and 685, interesting enough, the same week last year. The export sales report was a little better than what people expected. I think there was a lot of carryover sales from the week prior. That's what bumped up those sales, because I didn't think there was as many hides sold last week or I should say the week before last, as this report is indicating. Whole cattle hide sales came in at 560,800 hides. That's a marketing year high. China bought 75% of that at 419,000. That's a marketing year high for them. Sales of wet blue were 220,000. That was not a marketing year high, by the way. And shipments continue to be a problem. Wet salted shipments were totaled 379,000, whereas the exports of wet blue, let me pull it up here just real quick. I had it and I lost it, so my apologies. 100,500. So nothing impressive to talk about there as far as the shipments. It continues. The issue is the empty containers. Of course, you all heard about the Ever Given is stuck in the Suez Canal. That's got ships being rerouted. So, of course, steamship companies are pointing to that's only adding to the misery of the shipping situation in the United States. Going around the world real quick. Our friends in Brazil, the Packers continue to push for higher money on fresh hides. There's incremental increases being done very quietly. The buyers don't want to admit it. The Packers, of course, are boasting about it. So it's they're going to continue to push. The kill's off about 35% there since the end of December, and that's why you're seeing prices that are more than double since the end of last year. Wet blue prices are kind of holding in steady. I think there's some people able to eke out some higher prices. There's some people saying like wet blue TR1's traded as high as a $1.20. I think that's no doubt an asking price. A $1.05. There might have been a little higher than that, but for the most part, that's kind of nailing that market down. In Europe, situation isn't much different. The kills are running a little bit lower than normal. Demand remains very good. Asia is buying almost every hide they can. The European tanners seem to have slowed down a little bit. They're kind of balking at some of these asking prices, but at the end of the day, like any seller in any part of the world, they're able to get the prices that they're asking. So, very firm market remains there. And in Australia, things remain very firm there. Prices up a couple bucks across the board. There's, the harvest is well below levels of a year ago. Then they had some rains on the eastern coast of the country that slowed down harvest even more. So, high live cattle prices, packers losing money, farmers keeping the cattle. There's just not enough not going on. So, as far as what's going to happen this week, that, my friends, why don't you check into the website, www.themaxfieldreport.com. Look at the homepage. You'll see a button, Request a Sample Report. Happy to send you a complimentary copy of our daily U.S. Hide Report, my weekly World Hide Report, give you a taste of what I can do. Pretty sure that I can get you information that you're not getting from anybody else in the world. So that's it for this week. Ken Maxfield, the Hide Guy. Until next week, thanks.